I've made over $15 million in the last few years by selling my expertise through workshops, retainers, and courses. And if you want to do the same, this video will help you know exactly what to do. So this is the 6-step masterclass on how to start selling your expertise to make life-changing money. The first step to selling your expertise is to know where you sit on what I call the expertise ladder. Let's visualize your expertise as a ladder. At the bottom, you have generalists, then specialists, then authorities, and at the top, you have what I call a celebrity authority. Now, the generalist can do a lot of things reasonably well. The specialist is known for doing one thing very well. The authority is the person that companies bring in because their name alone moves the needle. And the celebrity authority is the person charging $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 for a single hour on a phone call. Not because they are doing more work, because their ideal client has accepted that what is in their brain, aka their current skills and expertise, is worth that price to get access to it. Now, most of the world scoffs at these huge numbers, but when you're selling expertise, you will hurt your income if you worry about the scoffers. Set your sights higher. There are people who will pay more. Your next step is to surround yourself with those people. Now, I have worked with many people operating at that level, and I will tell you this, I love them, but they are not exceptional in the way you might assume. They are not supernaturally brilliant. What they did was build widespread credibility without relenting and raising their rates as they went, not in increments, in huge leaps. I once overheard what a big name consultant charged for 1 hour of his time, $60,000 for an hour. That same day, I had a call with a new lead and I was like, I'm gonna quote twice the price I have in mind, which was already a high fee. I did, and they accepted it. Now, here is the most shocking part. Most experts actually never leave the specialist tier on that ladder. They get good, they start charging for it, they raise their rates slightly every year, then they plateau. Now, the jump from specialist to authority does not come from getting more skilled. It comes from repositioning how your expertise is accessed. That means the work you take on, how you package it, and who sees you doing it. So, let's look at the ladder again. Think about what you know, what you're currently doing to make money from it, and just pick where you are right now. Now that you know your starting point on the ladder, each next step we'll walk through is about how to pre-sell the right kind of engagements for your expertise, how to price them, and how to map your growth to get to the top ladder, celebrity authority, so you can start making the kind of money that will actually change your life. Next, we're talking about courses and how this is probably something you should stop doing or never try. Years ago, my team and I built something amazing called Copy School, and we sold nearly 10,000 seats at about $2,500 a pop. Now, for a long time, it was excellent because people had to pay for these courses in order to learn something valuable. But then AI arrived, and what this did was replace the price of access, which means that people used to have to pay humans like my team to teach them something very valuable. But now information is at everyone's fingertips with tools like ChatGPT, which has been trained on far more than any single expert's curriculum. And while there's a lot of people out there still trying to sell you on the course business model, here is the truth. They are doing that because they are selling courses, specifically courses on how to make money with courses. So for my business, we're actually pivoting away from the course model because AI has virtually killed it. Doesn't mean it's not valuable, but AI killed it. One 8-figure training business I know reported losing 80% of their revenue in a single month. So we built an AI agent trained on all 700 hours of training that's inside Copy School, plus more across my 20 years of marketing, because some people still want structured learning, but they want to use AI. So we're offering our Copy Coach agent to cater to how people want to learn now and just added in our own specific expertise. Now, if you're still set on the idea of courses, here's the problem. You are asking someone to pay for one person's knowledge when they already have access to a tool trained on billions of words from the world's best thinkers. So your course's value proposition is so much harder to defend now. You have to work much harder to make the case for people to pay for access to what you want to sell in a course. Now, this can be a doable business. We still sell a lot of seats, but it will not get you to $1 million fast. So instead of courses, and we'll dive into how to do this in the next step, set your eyes on the opportunity that can actually get you to $1 million in a year: workshops. A workshop is how you can charge $20,000 or more for 2 days of your expertise downloaded into a team's brain. This is when you bring your expertise directly to a business that needs it. You charge accordingly, you facilitate their progress on a valuable subject, and then they want you to come back for more workshops or done for you and done with you projects and pay you more. If you are currently running a course business or you're considering building one, I would say a course is not the play right now. Redirect that energy toward identifying the specific organizations that have the problem your expertise solves and learning how to sell yourself into those rooms using the workshop model, which we will go through right away. Step 3 is what I call the diagnostic, and it is the single best tool you can use to start selling your expertise through expensive engagements. Let's visualize this together. You get on a sales call with a lead. You pull out your iPad or a piece of paper and you tell the prospect, grab a pen and paper too. Actually, before the call, you've given them a heads up that they will need a pen, paper, and 3 colored pencils, red, yellow, green. Then you draw a diagnostic model live on screen in front of them and ask them to follow along with you, drawing 2. They are going to diagnose their own need for you. Now, I'm going to show you what I do as a conversion copy coach selling copywriting workshops to teams. You'll make this your own based on what you sell. So we're gonna go somewhere I can draw this out for you. Start with the shape. The one I like to use is a triangle because I have a 3-part diagnostic framework and a triangle is hard to draw wrong. One side represents the list, one side represents the offer, and the bottom represents the copy. I write those words and get the lead to do the same. Now, inside each side of the triangle are a few subcomponents, 3 per side. On the list side, I do quality, quantity, and stage of awareness. On the offer side, I do value or cost, incentives, and timing or speed. And on the copy side, I change this up often, but I'll do something like humanness, persuasion, and clarity. Of these 9 components, I know that a good lead for our business will struggle with at least 3 of them. And I also know that hiring us will help them solve all of them. So you draw and write as they draw and write. Explain each point on the triangle briefly as you're going through it like the expert you are. Make it tangible. Then ask them to go through their own business and mark each element. Green if it is strong, yellow if it needs attention, and red if it is genuinely broken. Now, by the end of that conversation, there is a piece of paper sitting on their desk in their handwriting with several red marks on it. They can see what they need to fix next. And I'm the one, or in this case, you're the one, to do that because I helped them see it. I became their guide and partner. They just got a diagnosis that left them thinking, gosh, I hope I can afford this person. Not, do I even need this person? And I was in control the whole time. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool, but like what's so good about the diagnostic? Seems like doodling with extra steps to me. But when you look a bit deeper, you see it does 2 things at the same time. 1, it shows the prospect exactly where their business is bleeding, which creates urgency they cannot argue with because they identified it themselves. And 2, it demonstrates your expertise in a way that no amount of credentials or testimonials can replicate. This sets a clear statement that you know your stuff inside out. Nobody draws a working, nuanced model live in front of a lead unless they genuinely understand it. So the trust that builds between you and the person you're trying to sell to is extraordinary. I have watched this change the trajectory of so many people's businesses because it makes the prospect the expert on their own problem while positioning you as the expert on the solution. I like the triangle, and you can absolutely copy this, or you can get creative and build your own version of this diagnostic, like a series of intersecting or overlapping circles. Just keep it easy for you and for them. To make your own, start with a framework you've developed, or think about the maybe 3 to 5 factors that consistently determine whether someone's results are strong or broken in your area of expertise. Or hey, brainstorm with ChatGPT, then map that into a simple shape that you can draw live. Practice drawing it until it becomes completely natural. Then begin using it in every serious sales conversation you have and in webinars. Step 4 is a strategy called land and expand. And most people who sell their expertise either do not know it exists or are only doing half of it. Here is something most beginner consultants overlook completely. Let's say you have successfully sold an engagement and you are booked to run a workshop at a large company. Before you show up, go through the LinkedIn profiles of every single person who will be in the room. What you will find is maybe VPs and directors who came from other major companies before this one. They were at Porsche before this. They were at Google. They were at Intuit, Adobe, Lego, or some $2 billion manufacturer you actually want access to. And the thing about people at that level is they still talk to their friends at those organizations. Those friendships do not end when they change employers. If you walk into that workshop and you deliver genuinely exceptional work, those people become referral engines into every company they have ever touched. You are not just serving one organization, you are getting introduced to an entire professional network that you could not buy your way into. This is what land and expand actually means. Not just growing broader inside one client's business, though that matters too and is high value too, but also expanding outward across their professional network by being the person in the room who was clearly the sharpest, most prepared, most articulate voice anyone had heard in a long time. And here's the thing about the pressure of doing engagements like this successfully. People either don't understand or heavily underestimate how much is riding on every engagement they take. They think, okay, I only need to make 10K off of this job because they're thinking of their expenses. But that's not what these engagements are for. Every job is a step toward another job, or it is not. The people who scale to $1 million and beyond treat every single engagement as an audition for the next 3. That means you are not showing up to deliver what was ordered. You are showing up to blow the room's mind by being so well prepared, so clear, and so genuinely useful that they cannot imagine a future where they are not working with you again repeatedly. That also means you are investing in the engagement. Now, the first time I ran a big workshop, that money did not go in my pocket. It went toward making the workshop, the workbooks, the posters, the pre-work, the room setup, the preparation time, the person helping me run it, what we were wearing, the post-work, all of it. Because when you are trying to land and expand, the quality of the first impression is worth far more than the short-term margin on the first check. So before and after every engagement, go through the attendee list and identify 3 people who are connected to organizations you would love to work with. Do not send a pitch because your performance at the engagement should have already sold them if you did it right. Do connect with them, stay visible, engage on their LinkedIn posts, and let the quality of the work you just did speak for you in the conversations they will go back and have. The referral happens naturally when the work was exceptional because everyone loves knowing the best person for the job. Step 5 is called Anchor at $1 million, and it is the pricing mindset shift that separates people who charge real money from people who keep almost getting there. I mentioned I know someone who charges $60,000 for a single hour of one-on-one consulting with a minimum number of hours. Sounds crazy, I know, but being around that kind of pricing does something to your brain and how you think about money. When you spend time with people who operate at that level, making that kind of money, your sense of what is reasonable shifts. A $500,000 engagement goes from feeling like a distant dream to feeling like the standard, and soon it feels like a low bar. You start asking different questions, you start showing up differently because you are anchored to something bigger. The people who start pricing at 0 and write up proposals that feel like apologies, they spend the entire sales conversation trying to justify the number. Whereas the people who start at $1 million and work down write proposals from a completely different perspective. We're not explaining ourselves, we're being selective. There is this great principle I love to reference. 10x is easier than 2x. Dan Sullivan. It sounds backwards to people. 10x is easier than 2x until you try to double your revenue and realize doubling your revenue requires the same energy almost as 10xing it, but it actually limits your ideas. When you're aiming for 10x or 100x, everything about how you package, price, and present yourself has to change. It gets to change. When you are aiming just to double, almost everything stays as it is. Now, if I tell you to come up with a plan to go from $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year, or if I tell you to come up with a plan to go from $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year, those are 2 very different plans. Both are hard, choose your heart. So the 2 big takeaways here are to first anchor yourself at that $1 million engagement and work backward from there. Work down to find your price, not that far down. And secondly, to build a network around you that inspires and pushes you to new levels, which you'll find are not that far out of reach. These people will probably also be selling 100K workshops or $1 million engagements. Now, most people don't realize that your network is setting your ceiling for how much money feels possible to make. If every person around you in business is trying to crack 6 figures, you are being calibrated to 6 figures. The people you are in proximity to are your sense of normal, and your pricing, your ambition, and your self-valuation will drift toward whatever that room considers normal. Now, we talk about this a lot, and I will say it again, regression to the mean. If we all regress to the mean as just a natural human tendency, then you need to adjust your mean. You do that by adjusting the network you operate in. What is their mean? So go look at the professional communities and networking circles you are currently active in. What is the average revenue of the people in those rooms? If the answer is not in the 7-figure, 8-figure range and you want to earn 7 or 8 figures, you need to find a new room. Proximity to people operating at a much higher level is part of how you get there in the first place. It's actually why I started Authority Figures, which is for truly ambitious thought leaders who need the company of high earners. The last step is the one most people skip entirely because it feels too simple. It's learning to value what you do expertly well and choosing who actually deserves it. These people talk about their work like anyone could do it if they wanted to, but here is something that's a hard truth. Elon Musk is an expert in so many things, and he would do his work for free, I'm sure, if money were removed from the equation. He gets to build rockets. He gets to be a visionary. Almost anyone would do that for free. That does not mean he should or would, and it does not mean the work is worth nothing because you would happily do it for nothing. In the last 3 years, the decisions that have come from Elon Musk's brain have added something in the range of $800 billion in value. We can argue a lot, but nobody credible would argue that the price tag on his time is actually too high. The "I would do this for free" thing that a lot of experts say is not humility. It's self-sabotage dressed up as passion. You must value what you do and then choose who you bring it to, and they have to value it. A huge portion of the people who are struggling to close 5 or 6-figure engagements are not struggling because of their pitch. They are struggling because they're in front of the wrong leads. And I mean heart-centered entrepreneurs who replaced them with AI the second something cheaper showed up. Small businesses that file your engagement under a $2,000 freelancing line item. Those are not the right clients for you, and it is absolutely okay to let that work go. Tell yourself, I'm giving that work to someone else who wants or needs it. And here is something counterintuitive. The logo is not always the signal. I have been hired for 6-figure engagements by $20 million companies you may never have heard of. They had 6 people on payroll and were just printing cash. So when you are selling an expensive engagement, this is really important. You need to understand that your prospect has probably been burned before, probably repeatedly. People at senior levels in small and large orgs alike have a very refined radar for people who are overselling and under-delivering. They have had consultants come in and charge a lot to tell them things that AI now summarizes almost for free. They are not just evaluating your pitch, they are evaluating whether you are trustworthy. That means a lot of the selling is not about energy or enthusiasm. When it's closing time, it comes down to evidence. Sometimes that means case studies that show exactly what happened, numbers where you have them, specificity about your process. Trustworthiness is shown, it's not told. The consultant who spends the call talking about how good they are keeps losing to the one who pulls out a diagnostic, fills in a triangle while the prospect draws alongside them. The trust that's there. So 2 things to do this week. First, redefine your ideal client profile or ICP, and not just by job title or industry, but by whether they have a real budget and whether they understand the category of value that you provide. If they do not have both, move quickly to someone else. Second, pull out the last proposal you sent and ask yourself honestly whether the number you quoted started at 0 and worked up, or whether it started from what the work is actually worth to the right ICP. If it was the former, that is the price conversation to have with yourself before you have it with anyone else. So those were the 6 steps on how to start generating real income from selling your expertise through workshops or engagements. If you have questions, comment them below and check out this video next.